generally think to yourself, are you happy? Like, seriously think about it. It's okay if the answer is no. You don't have to pretend here. You've been tricked. Now let me ask you this. What is happiness? You can't touch it. You can't see it. So is it truly obtainable? I'll say maybe for now, but we will circle back to this question later on in this video.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These are the great words from our founding father, Thomas Jefferson. But someone must have PR trained our old friend Tommy J because of that last part in the fine print. Pursuit of happiness. This implies that happiness is not guaranteed. We must chase after it like a carrot on a stick, that we inherently don't possess this thing we call happiness. Ain't that slick? Now why is there a problem here? Well, for starters, we have been set up to fail. Why must it be a pursuit of happiness? We often see our lack of happiness as a problem to be solved. And we have been tricked into believing that if we put in the hard work to pursue it, our life will be good, once we get this thing called happiness. But the thing is, we never get enough. Like a constant drive to find that next high. We have this insatiable desire to be more and more happy. This is the rat race. In this capitalistic world, we have been conditioned into believing that we need to do more, and more while in this pursuit of happiness. When we have more money, we will be happy. When we have more fame, we will be happy. When we have more things, we will be happy. And maybe it's true. Once we achieve more in life, we will have more happiness. But why do we have to be so driven towards it? It's as if the pursuit blinds us from ever achieving the contentment that happiness should bring. Why do we have to struggle so much for it? Why should we pursue something that we don't even know exists? I feel like there's a point in everyone's life where the childlike bliss seems to leave you, and the hues of life become dull. When do we let that happen? When do we let ourselves be brainwashed into believing that we must struggle to be happy? I'd argue to say that we shouldn't. We shouldn't pursue happiness. It's weird, as someone who had the ever-burning desire to just be happy, who didn't want to be a burden onto others because he himself did not think he was capable of being happy, is now telling others to stop pursuing the one thing he had desired most? Why? It's because I've driven myself crazy into believing that happiness is a result of success. Let me paint you an example from my experience. Back in college, I sold knives, a ton of knives, Cutco. It was during COVID and school was a joke. So in the span of a year or so, I sold over 200K worth of knives. They were some damn sharp knives. For a while, I was ecstatic. I was on cloud 9. People looked up to me. I was great at what I did. I loved talking to people and selling knives. And I had more money than most of my peers, at least for the average college student. But once the honeymoon phase waned, I found myself unhappy again. Everything I had done that I worked towards all seemed to fade. Don't get me wrong, I'm still very grateful for my experience and for all the people that had contributed towards that 200K mark. But I didn't understand why I was so unhappy. Why did I feel this void in my heart and in my soul? I became obsessed with this pursuit of happiness. I dug my nose into books, following rabbit holes on YouTube, and just doing anything that would shed some light as to why I wasn't happy anymore. And honestly, I didn't have much luck. I still find myself getting lost with it today. I find myself becoming obsessed with big dreams in my head. I just get lost in my own ambition, because I just fear mediocrity, and I just continue to drive myself crazy because I genuinely believe that I'm meant for more. I hate how that sounds, and it sounds so vain and pretentious when I read it back, but it's because I want to do more. I want to do more for others, for myself, for the world, And it drives me crazy because it makes me believe that I am unhappy. Because I'm not fully fulfilled nor content with what I have accomplished, or happy with where I am in life. But the hard truth of the matter is that happiness is merely a concept in our heads. It's a figment of our imagination that is based on our perception of ourselves, of the world around, and our relation to others. By believing that it is a pursuit, it is a trap that makes it seem unobtainable. We are weird creatures with powerful minds. It's crazy how ideas, thoughts, and ambitions that float around in our heads could affect how happy we feel. Dreams are powerful. We are powerful. And if we just take a step back, look at the bigger picture that is life, you come to realize that your desire to pursue happiness is a bit silly. This obsession of wanting to be happy is silly. There's no way you can always be happy in the ebbs and flows of life. But who am I to tell you this? Perhaps I am just a silly, crazy guy who just wants to live life, to enjoy it to its fullest capacity. I just know that the hamster wheel they put us on is exhausting, where they condition us into believing that the faster we run, the more happiness we will gain, when all we really have to do is step out of the hamster wheel, take a look around, take a look within, and break the mold. I'm not saying it's always going to be easy. Nothing worth working towards was easy, as the cliche goes. It's extremely hard to break the conventions of convenience, of our limiting beliefs, and of the systems that hold us together, that we reside in. Don't be so hard on yourself, and stop taking life so seriously. Happiness is obtainable. It's really all dependent on you. You just have to look within yourself to find purpose.